Good morning, babies. It is Monday morning, and it has already been a Monday. If you know what I mean. I think you do, because Mondays are goofy days. So, I don't know, backstory a little bit. So okay, the angle is being weird. I don't know what it's doing. Okay, anyway. So when I found out I was going to be teaching last spring, over the summer, I made it a goal for myself to start going to bed earlier, right? And so that I could start training myself to be more of a morning person. I am not a morning person, like, at all. I find that when I am usually the most productive and creative in the late night, early morning hours, and that has always been true for me. And so I am a habitual night owl, and that's just how it's always been. Even in college, I ended up working, like, my roommates used to make fun of me because I was such a ridiculous morning person. Like, I would hit the snooze button like 1,000 times. I would stay up super late and just was always exhausted until I don't know, like, I got going and into the swing of things. And so I eventually, and I know this is not good for you, but this is what it was, I eventually took so my job, I was a dispatcher for the university police department, and I eventually ended up taking the graveyard shift because it worked for me so much better. And so I would go to work at midnight, and then I got off at 8, and I would go to classes for several hours most of the day, and then come home and sleep during the afternoon, and then get up like 5 or 6 in the evening, and I would have a couple hours to do whatever, play, have fun, whatever you do in college. And so this was a fantastic schedule for me because I was able to, like, I don't know, it worked for me. But in the real world does not function this way. So I had to, like, try and readjust once I left college and got stuff done that way. Anyway, so I have always been a late night person, and it didn't matter much when I was at home with babies because babies are up all night anyway. So it worked out, and yeah, I didn't let it bother me that much because, like I said, I was usually the most productive in the middle of the night and the most creative, and so I would come up with some of my best ideas and stuff, different things late at night. But I made it a goal for myself this summer to make sure that I started going to bed and I gave myself like between 9:30 and 11, like, that's your window. Somewhere in there you need to go to bed, and then get up about 6 or 6:30. And it was really hard at first, but my husband is very sweet and he helps me with this. But mostly because those are also his waking hours, sleeping hours. Anyway, so we have tried really hard to stay on this schedule, and I have done great. Like, once I finally got into the swing of things during the summer, like, I got it figured out, and we got got stuff going that way. And then school started, and it was awesome. Like, it was no big deal, and it's been wonderful. And even weekends I've kind of kept to the same schedule because it's just easier to stay in it, except for this weekend. And this weekend I stayed up super late Friday night, Saturday night, and last night. And I think I stayed up late last night because I slept in so long on Sunday morning. And so it was really obnoxious. The alarm, actually, it wasn't even the alarm that woke me this morning. My husband got a call from work pretty dang early this morning, and it woke me up, and I thought, oh, okay, well, I'll just get up now. But then I didn't. And then my alarm went off, and I hit snooze, which I have not done yet. We are in the 5th week of school, and I have not hit snooze yet, so I am super proud at the moment of this. So yeah, anyway, so I snoozed, and it was, and you know those mornings when you cannot get going? That was this morning. Like, I could not get going, and my kids, because I couldn't get going, my kids couldn't get going, so I just had to take them out to school, and now I'm headed into school for me, and I'm looking at the clock going, yeah, you're gonna be a few minutes late for your morning duty. Not good. But yeah, there's not a lot I can do about that at this point, other than speed a little bit. Not a lot, just So that's where I'm at this morning, which means I hate coming in late like this because it puts me behind as I start my day, which is never a good thing. And I forgot my water bottle, and that bugs me. And I was gonna say I forgot my lunch, but we actually have an extra early out today. We're done at 12:30 because we as teachers have to go and grade our DLB, like the literacy benchmark that we took a few weeks ago. And so my kids get done at 12:32, and they will ride the bus home, and then my oldest will just watch the others until myself or my husband gets home from work. So that will be a long day. But anyway, because we get out early, I'm just gonna grab something to eat then. So that's the plan today, and yeah, that should work. Like I said, last night was a late night, and so since I am the most productive, I was obviously up doing things, and so I think that I need to ask our team lead or maybe even the principal, if it's possible to go back over to the old school and kind of borrow some things that were in it, like some different types of tables and things. I would like to. For a little bit different setup in my classroom. I think I'm ready to start like some small groups during reading and skill shots, but until I set my class up just a hair different, yeah, like that will make things easier to have a better computer table for my Chromebooks. It will work. The sun's coming in. It will work better to have some small group tables set up for kids to work at. I just think that it would work better. Anyway, so this is my issue, like trying to get these things set up. Like I don't know what I'm doing. Because I did not get up and get going this morning, I actually turned my phone on and was like scrolling through my phone this morning, which I normally only do on Saturday mornings because I'm just in bed on Saturday mornings and it doesn't matter. But I scrolled through my phone this morning, so again, another ridiculous part to my late start morning. And there was one of the memes that comes through, and it said, being a first year teacher is like trying to fly an airplane as you build it. And that is totally how I feel right now. Like, it has been crazy, and it's not that I'm afraid to make decisions. Like, I will make a decision, but I hate to implement something that is just going to crash and burn. And so I want to make sure that before I do these things that they are totally set up and ready to go. And so I'm relying on the knowledge that I have from substituting and what I have seen implemented. But I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not quite sure how to do it. I have, I think, some ideas as to what to do, but I'm trying to figure it out. I have a para that comes in the morning during reading time, and I asked my team lead, like, if I had to use her specifically for reading or if I could use her for helping with like math reteach on those kids that are struggling, or if I could use her for writing different things. And she says it should be okay because she isn't paid through Title I funds specifically for reading, which is fantastic news for me. There are some of the paras that's like what they're hired specifically for, so I cannot use them as for anything else. So I think being able to use my para this way might be beneficial. I have a couple of groups that I know are going to need help on a few things that I want to use as centers, and so if I can scaffold how they're set up, I can have it so that when she gets there is when they reach these centers that they're going to need some additional help on. I think I need to do a few things with our writing block this week to make sure that they have some knowledge in place on how to do some things, but I would like to incorporate writing into a centers type block so that they are writing every single day, that they are building on these sentences, starting to build paragraphs, starting to build more than one paragraph, because I love writing. I love writing. I was trying to structure these centers around things that I think are important, and obviously I think writing is important, and I think it needs to be it needs to have more of an emphasis than it currently does in my classroom, so that's what I'm working on. Anyway, like I said, and a new seating chart. I was working on a new seating chart last night too. So anyway, we'll see how all of this goes down now that I'm in the waking hours and it's time for school. So I'm going to turn in here and hopefully have a good morning. Bye. Hello, hello. So it is Monday afternoon. Today was, I think I told you this earlier, it's an early out because we were grading our district literacy benchmark today. So we had to get together district-wide, the entire third grade team, and grade these little papers that they wrote a couple of weeks ago. And it was so long. It's 5 o'clock and I'm just leaving the school. So it was long. It was crazy. You have to like double check back and forth to make sure that like there aren't teachers that are cheating for their students. So yeah, anyway, it was a long process, but we're done now. I'm headed over to go pick up Katie from dance so that I can go back to the school, because we had to go to a different school within the district to do all of this. So I'm going to go back to my school, grab my stuff, and then head home. So it's been a long day. I don't even know what we're having for dinner. Oh yes, I do. I pulled stuff out of the freezer because I'm amazing. See that? Yeah, I'm amazing. So anyway, I'm gonna go get Katie and I'll see you later. So I thought I would show you this. I was actually pretty impressed with myself. So we did prefixes and suffixes today, and so we made this little chart thing that you can see. And so I did Slinky the dog from Toy Story to show like the beginning of a word, and then the middle, and then the end. And so we went over some of them, and then we tried to come up with a couple of examples. And I think it turned out cute. So that was good. And I was super proud of my kids. Watch out, sis. Last week, they got 100% on their vocab test. So I'm hoping that these little posters help again. We did them on slides on a PowerPoint, and then I just printed them off, and I'm going to have them over here on my reading spot so that we can refer to them throughout the week, because some of these words are really kind of different, like apathetic. Come on, what third grader knows that? Good morning. It is, why can I never remember what day it is? It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. And it is, oh my gosh, it's a gorgeous day. That sun is so bright. And I'm off to school. It's 7:30. I tried to get an earlier start, but it didn't work out today. My kids did not miss the bus, and that was fantastic. So that was a good thing. It's Tuesday. I have my very first IEP meeting today. Maybe it's not my first. I technically sat in on one when I was a long-term sub in another district, and yeah, they were having an IEP meeting, and so I sat in on that one and contributed probably a very little, but I was there. So this one is one for one of my students, and one that we're trying to get onto an IEP so that we can get him the resources that he needs to better be able to work in our school. And so I'm a little nervous. I'm not quite sure what and how it works from this perspective. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I have some work that I've saved of his from the last, well, since school started, and some others from peers, so that we can kind of compare where maybe he should be and where he is, so that we can, like I said, get him the help that he needs. So I have to go, and I've never heard of an IEP that is during school hours, so I had to find an aide to take my spot in my room for an hour, and I think I'm going to switch things around a little bit. We're supposed to do math first thing, but because that's when the IEP was, I would rather her teach the reading section, because it's just listening to the story and kind of talking about it today. So I think I would rather her do that than attempt to do the math, just because it's a very fast-paced math program, and not that I'm amazing at teaching it, but I've done the prep work, like I've read the lessons, and so I don't know. I think I would rather her do the reading than the math. So that's what we're going to do today. I am thinking I'm going to implement my small groups during skill shots today. I'm still not quite sure how it's going to work where we don't have any like small group tables. Maybe I'll go to the extra classroom this morning and see if I can't round up just an extra table to see, so I can use it for that. Other than that, I think it's going to be a great day. I am really feeling like we're finally getting into the swing of things. Not that I'm doing amazing, but at least the schedule is where it's supposed to be. Later this week, I have a meeting with my principal. We, in the district, every teacher has to set goals based on this chart that they give us with different domains. And so I talked to my mentor about it, and I think we have some goals. The thing that I have an issue with, like, I have no issues with goals, or because you guys have heard me say over and over, like, here's the plan for today, this is my plan, and so I like to have, you know, what I'm going to do out there, and that's fantastic. But I don't like how they have these types of goals set up, because I have a hard time figuring out exactly how they're measurable. You know, you set a goal to lose 10 pounds. Well, you don't reach that goal until you lose 10 pounds. This one, to have better classroom management, to me is very ambiguous, and I don't know how that's quantifiable. So I don't know. I will set out what I think, and I guess we'll go over that with the principal, because he's done this lots of times before and I have not. So that is going to be what's going on later this week. It's kind of a quiet week on the home front. There is no cross country this week. I'm kind of grateful. And it is conference weekend, so it should be a very just low-key, quiet kind of week and weekend, and I think we all need it, so it's a good thing. Yeah, talk to you later. So we are working on getting a better start in the morning, and so I made this goofy little PowerPoint slide to have up on my projector board like in the morning, so that hopefully it makes things go a little smoother and not quite so noisy. Also, I think we're gonna have to move to tables out here, because we did small groups today, and it was so hard because we don't have enough like big tables for kids to gather around. So I think if I do tables, that will make it so that at least we can use those to do projects in and around. So that's my plan. Good morning. It is Wednesday morning. Happy hump day. I have to laugh. I just was getting on my phone and I was setting things up, and my phone tells me that traffic is light on my way to work. And I laughed because I was like, that's because there's no cars out here. So of course the traffic is light. I thought it was funny. Anyway, so it is Wednesday morning. I am headed in a little bit early today. My kids just left on the bus, and I wanted to get in so that I have a meeting with my principal on Thursday morning. Oh my gosh, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow morning to discuss my goals, and so I need to figure out, so you have like 4 domains that you can choose from for your goals, and then you have to like make it work within those domains. And as a first year teacher, you're told what your domain is, like which one you have to pick. And so I am going in to find all of my paperwork on this, because I know I got some at orientation, and I know I've talked to my mentor about it, and I just need to gather all of my things now. So that's what I need to get done this morning. I have some copies to make. Both copiers were broken yesterday. Like, I don't understand how that works, but they were both broken, so I was not able to make my copies for today. So I want to get in there quickly before other ladies get in there. And then, what else? Oh, I got an email from my principal last night as well, asking me to be on the building leadership committee. I don't know what that is. I don't know how much time that takes up, and so I don't really know what to say on that one. I guess I can ask my team lead and see what the heck it is. So anyway, that should be good, and that's what I'm doing today. it is a pretty low-key day as far as like at home, on the home front. Ty has he has cross country and he has football today, so that part, but we're used to the running now, so it's not that big a deal. And the other two don't have anything today, which makes it nice. So that's what we're going to be doing, and I'll talk to you later. So bad.
You should go look at it now, though. Those kids, I mean, I made a
No, I know, but just the fact that you're.
Hey there, it's Wednesday afternoon, and if I do say so myself, it was a very Monday-like Wednesday. Does that make sense? It was very long. It felt very, I don't know, it was just a long day, and I don't think it was anything to do with anything specific, but it just felt long, and I don't know why. But it was one of those, like, when I got up this morning and I was blinking, I'm like, am I going to open my eyes back up? I don't know. So I ended up stopping at the Maverick on the way in to get me a Coke, because sometimes that's just what it takes to stay awake. Anyway, so today was fantastic. One of my little guys that is a major disruption in my class a lot of the time, he had a discussion with his grandma apparently last night about these noises that he likes to make, and she says, you know what, it's not a bad thing, it's cool noises, but she's like, what if instead of saying them out loud you just do them in your head? And he said, oh, I can do that. I kid you not, this morning was amazing. He did them all in his head, and when he would start to do them like out loud, like all I had to do was like look at him and say, oh, and I'd say his name, and he would stop immediately. It was fantastic. I don't know how long this is going to last, but today was a fantastic day in that respect. So that was good. We did skill shots again today, where we switched, and I finally got my rotation board up on my projector with the timer, so that we switched every 15 minutes, and it went much smoother today. I think tomorrow will go even better, now that we're kind of used to this is what we're doing when we're in my class. So that was a good thing. And then I got my so I had to set up my appointment with my principal for tomorrow morning for the goals that we have for this year. And so we kind of got together as a team and brainstormed some different ideas and some different things that we can do for the wording and that, so that I can take it home tonight now and get it typed up, so that when I go in tomorrow it's just ready to go. And it looks like I have my crap together, when in actuality you and I know that I don't. So that's fantastic. And now I'm gonna go pick up Ty from somewhere. Oh, cross country. And other than that, it's a pretty quiet night. I'm all right with that. Good morning. It's Thursday. Oh, the sun is bright today. It's Thursday morning, and it was an interesting one this morning. My kids, like, they've never been sleeper inners, and so whenever they do, I try and let them a little bit, because they must need it if they're sleeping in, because they do not sleep in. But you reach a point where you're like, dude, you guys, you gotta get up. So we ran into that a little bit this morning, and like the boys' hair was not done, and I know they're boys, so it probably doesn't matter, but their hair's getting long, it's kind of getting shaggy, and so it kind of needs to be done so it doesn't look like they just rolled out of bed. But since that's exactly what happened this morning, I guess I can't feel too bad. But anyway, I need to get them a haircut, either scheduled or do it myself. I hate doing it myself, but I also don't want to spend the money on it, so I guess that's my own problem. Anyway, Katie was much better. She's always up. I think she's the first one up, like, every day regardless. She was up, breakfasted, dressed, hair done. That was no big deal. She was ready to go. It was the boys this morning, and funnily enough, it was Ty that was really having a hard time dragging his butt out of bed. He is very similar to Kate that way, like they're the first ones up, and he was not this morning, so I kind of felt bad for him, but whatever. Anyway, so I am headed into school. It's a little bit early, 7:30. I just want to make sure that I have everything ready for my meeting this morning with the principal. Plus, because the copiers were down again yesterday, we have a reading comprehension test today, and the lady who is supposed to do the copies has been out the last couple of days, which it didn't matter anyway because they weren't working. So I need to go and get into the office and use their copier so that I can get this done this morning. So that should work. My math thing, I don't remember if I told you. So we started on a new topic this week, and we started on the distributive property. And oh my gosh, they did not get it. It took us 2 days to go over it, and I still had like 5 kids that still weren't quite grasping it. So I hate to move on, because I know we're going to be using it going forward, but I'm like, those that are getting it, like, we can't just hang out on this one lesson the entire time. So I had a para yesterday afternoon, and so I had her pull those 5, one individually and then a group of 4, to really sit down with them, to go through the lesson again, to go through the reteach again. And I think we're better. We'll have to see what the homework looks like today when it comes back, and I give them a reteach every morning as they come in, just a quick worksheet. I like to call it an exit ticket, but it's officially called a reteach, for them to do, so that I get a quick snapshot of who's got it, who still needs some help, and who doesn't get it at all. I hate that. Plus, it's midterms this week, so I need to compile a list of kids that are struggling, and a note has to go home to them so that it's not a complete surprise to their parents when they get report cards and they're like, what the heck, you're not doing well. And I'm going, yeah, I know. So at least now they'll know. So gotta do that, and that's what we're doing today. So it should be good. It should be good. We'll have a good day. I'm excited. It's a good day. It's Thursday, which means we're only one day away from the weekend. Hey there. It's Friday night, and yeah, it's been kind of a long day. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even get a chance to talk to you this morning. My kids woke up late again this morning and missed the bus, and so I look rough. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I took them to school, but we got a late start because I forgot to pack my lunch last night. So it was just as much my fault as my kids. I mean, I can blame my kids, but we all know it was everybody. Yeah, I feel like the honeymoon phase is over. You know, when we first started into the school year, it was breezy and lovely because it was easy. And I kind of feel like that honeymoon phase is over, and we're kind of settling into real life, and real life is messy. Like, we're late all the time, and I hate it. I really am disliking the fact that we go opposite directions. It disrupts our morning routine and kind of makes it not awesome. But we'll figure it out. We always do. So it's good. Friday was, trying to think of how my day was great today, actually. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be, and I am loving this 100%. I'm not saying that it's easy at all. In fact, it's totally the opposite of that. It's hard, but I feel like this is exactly where I'm supposed to be and exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, and there is some comfort in that, and so it makes it a little bit easier, I think. I asked my team lead today, I said, does it ever reach a point where it's just not so much all the time? Because apparently it's midterms this week, and I guess we have to get stuff out, especially for our students that are, so they grade our standards here on 1, 2, or 3. 3 means like you got it, 2 means almost, and 1 is below grade level. And so anybody that is a 1 or a 2, they have to have stuff sent out to them. And I don't know, I just don't feel like any of my students are a 3 like across the board. So it's probably just going to be easier to just send them out for everybody. But the grading system that we use that's online is like, their grading algorithm is not right now, and they're working on getting it fixed. So we're going to have to go in and just do it by hand this weekend. There was like news about our English is English language learners that came down today about a program that they have to be on the computer so many minutes a week on this program. And I'm just going, there's not enough time in the day. Like, we're already stretched to the max, and somehow we're supposed to add in this extra. Sorry, totally dropped the phone. Anyway, so I brought my stuff home tonight. See, can you see all the stuff that needs to be graded? That's all the stuff that needs to be graded. And have something done with it for midterms. And on top of this, it's kind of a busy weekend. So tomorrow morning, we're going to go and clean the church. Hopefully. My daughter fell today and hit her head pretty hard. She fell off of a backstop. Trying to explain it, and I'm not explaining it well. So my husband was helping over at our town's baseball field. They were building a new concession stand, and so he was out there helping with it and had taken the kids. And Kate was out walking on like one of the walls and fell off and hit her head pretty hard. She's got a pretty good headache, and she's been throwing up, which isn't great, but her eyes aren't dilated, which is good. So we eventually, it's late now. We just sent her to bed, and I'll probably check on her a few times tonight. But then we're supposed to get up early tomorrow to go clean the church. And then I am taking pictures for a lady that's here. Not a lady, she's like a girl that just got engaged. Some engagement pictures for her and her fiance at noon. And then when I'm done, which I hate what time it's at, like morning light or afternoon light is not my favorite by any means. But we're going to where hopefully there's enough shade and cover that we should be okay. And then my son has a football game, and I would like to be able to go to Costco and run a few errands tomorrow night in the next town over. Hopefully that happens. I hope that happens. And then Sunday should be just a gorgeous day. We're supposed to have family pictures taken on Sunday evening. And so, yeah, that's hopefully what's going on. And then it's Monday again, and we're back to it. So I had a fabulous week. I really did. And like I said, looking back on this week, like I feel really good about it. My kids have been great, the school kids. We had to have a few talking tos this week, and they've turned chatty on me. And I don't know if it's just because, like, again, like the honeymoon phase is over and we're kind of settling into things, but I don't know. The school counselor came over and she was talking to me today while I was making copies, and she was like, I just wanted to say, because she was in our room earlier this week, I can't remember which day. She's like, I just wanted you to know, like, I feel there's such a good vibe, like, in your classroom. And I thought, oh, thank you. Thank you for that. So hopefully we can keep it up. Hopefully they can stop talking a little bit and we'll move on, right? Here we go into October. It's fabulous.